All right, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. My name is Melvin from XMUM's IChemE student chapter, and I will be your MC for today. First of all, I'd like to say welcome and thank you for joining this event, the IChemE registration and POPSIG talk. First of all, I'd like to express a token of gratitude to POPSIG and IChemE for making this event possible, as well as our advisors and, of course, to the speakers especially, whom I will introduce to you all briefly after I go through the general guidelines and general timeline. Before that, though, I'd like to inform everyone that this POPSIG talk will be live streamed onto POPSIG's Facebook account, so you can check out the archive if you're interested. And for those watching from the live stream, do remember to like and share with people you know. So for the general guidelines, please be reminded that you are not advised to switch on your microphone or video camera during the talk, as it may disturb the speakers and the general flow of the event. And in the event you have any questions you'd like to ask Mr. Thillai especially during the POPSIG talk, you may drop your questions on the Mentimeter slide we prepared by going into the link menti.com, that's menti.com, and entering in the code we have here in the slides. Alternatively, you may also click the link that we have provided to you via the Teams chat. Don't worry, your questions will be anonymous, and you may post them at any point during the talk, and it will not disturb Mr. Thillai. So lastly, of course, the most important thing, remember to sit back and enjoy the event. So next, right, so for the general timeline, we are currently going through the introduction, after which we'll dive right into the first talk of today by Mr. Thillai on the future potential valorization of palm oil or its waste into other value-added products. And we'll have an accompanying Q&A session, as well as a photo session and a short 5-minute break. Next, we'll enter into the second half of today's event after that, which is the student chapter and the IChemE introduction, as well as the registration process. Next. So for our first speaker of today, we have Mr. Thillai. He's currently working as the project manager at Alpha Lavo Group, and he has over 8 years of experience in the oil and fat field, and his work focuses on edible oil processes. And once again, the topic of his talk will be on the future potential valorization of palm oil or its waste into other value-added products. Secondly, we'll have our Vice President of XMUM IChemE student chapter, who will be giving us an introduction onto our student chapter, what we're all about, what we do, and all that. And lastly, we'll have Ms. Tharshinye Soomaran. She's currently country manager of IChemE Malaysia. She's an associate fellow at the Malaysian Institute of Management, and she has over 15 years of experience in strategic management and planning. And she's going to give us a talk. She's going to introduce IChemE, membership, accreditation, all that. So without further ado, let's dive right into the first talk of today. Mr. Thillai, I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you, Melvin. Good afternoon, fellow students and guests. Today, my topic is going to be on future potential valorization of the palm oil base into other value-added products, a new concept of palm oil wastewater management. I'm representing POPSIG Group from IChemE, Palm Oil Processing Special Interest Group. And today, my presentation, most of the content will be touched my company, Alpha Lava. Alpha Lava is a Swedish-based company where we're trying to provide engineering solution for the palm oil industry on last 15 years. So my presentation today will be going to touch on 4 topics. First, I'm going to touch on operation chain of the palm oil industry. It's an overview of the supply chain of the palm oil industry. Second will be on current global palm oil issue and the adapted solution by the industry peoples. And third, effluent generation from the adapted solution. And the fourth will be on value enhancing step towards the effluents. What's the palm oil? A edible vegetable oil extracted from the mesocarp of palm fruit. The extraction process from the mesocarp palm fruit will be yield about 20% of the oil. That means 100 kg of palm fruit can produce about 20 kg of oil. palm oil. So this palm oil consists of three mainly composition. So the first one is a triglyceride, TAG, which is consists of 90%, and the balanced phosphatide, FFA, and other impurities we call as impurities which need to be removed from a TAG. This triglyceride is a human consumable component from a palm oil section. So we need to know what are the molecular configuration of the TAG. So TAG, the backbone is a glycerol. The glycerol which attach together with the three type of fatty acid. At the totality, it forms as a triglyceride. The supply chain of the palm oil start with plantation. At the plantation, people will collect the fresh fruit branches. In short term, people call FFB. Then it will be transported to the mill. At the mill, it will go through a certain process like sterilization, pressing, and extraction. So this FFB will be converted to crude palm oil. In the picture, you can see as a dark orange liquid sample. This is a crude palm oil. This crude palm oil will be further refined into the refinery section with a step of degumming, bleaching, and deodorizing process. At the end product, we call RBDPO, refined bleached deodorized palm oil. These are the final product which pass to the market for the human consumption. So basically, the supply chain of the palm oil industry can segregate into two sections. First one is upstream, which is consists of mill and plantation, and second one is the downstream, mainly consists of the refinery section. Palm oil processing consists of a lot of unit operation. Today, I'm going to touch on the most crucial heart of the palm oil processing unit operation, which is deodorizer. What is deodorizer? Deodorizer is a process where we try to remove the impurity from the main oil body component. Since we know from the past slide, the main oil composition is a triglyceride, which is and it also will be mixed together with some of the impurities such as the FFA. This FFA in a brief form called free fatty acid. This FFA boiling point is about 200 degrees, and this triglyceride, which is the main component of the oil, the boiling point is about 300 degrees above. So in the deodorizing process, we try to boil off the FFA and in target to get the most improved taste palm oil for the human consumption. So these are some of the example of the simulation for the deodorizer process. So at the bottom, you can see there is a crude palm oil, which is come together with the triglyceride. It is the main body of the oil, together with the FFA, which need to be removed. FFA is the impurities. It will enter the bottom section of the deodorizer column. It will be vaporized because of the high temperature. The temperature of the operation for this deodorizer column usually about 260 degrees, and it operates around 2 millibar absolute vacuum, because to protect the hot oil from oxidation from the air. So from the boiling process, these volatile fatty acid will be moved to the top section. At the top section, it will be further purified through the reflux of the upper stream. So at the end of the deodorizer, there's two products. One is a clean crude palm oil, which is called as a RBDPO, refined bleached deodorizer palm oil, which has less FFA and mostly consists of triglyceride, TAG. And the top section product is called as a FFA, purified free fatty acid composition. Currently, the palm oil industry mainly pressed by the four types of constraints. First is demand. Ever increasing the human population increase the requirement for the vegetable oil production. Second one is the cost. In the past COVID big turbulence, a lot of the raw material costs increased. So the refinery and the mill cider have a lot of constraint to come up with a solution, process solution to produce palm oil end product with a less cost of operation. The third one is the health. The palm oil, the end product, should be contaminant free. The final one is the environment. The engineering solution from the supply chain has less carbon emission and more towards the green solution. In the past month, there's a huge blow happened towards the third constraint. What's the blow? On October, Hong Kong Consumer Council, they found cancer element component inside the cream cracker, which is produced by POPSIG. So this create a lot of pressure towards the manufacturer, and also the pressure cascaded towards the mill sider and the refinery operator. So when the further investigation, they found three type of carcinogenic element inside these samples, which is the glycerol, 3-MCPD, and also acrylamide. So I'm going to touch through the 3-MCPD. 3-MCPD means 3-monochloropropanediol. Is formed at the temperature of 140 at the presence of chloride ion together with the acid environment. So this TAG, which is a 90% composition of the palm oil, will react with the chloride ion at the presence of acidic environment. At temperature of above 140 degree, it will create 3-MCPD, the cancer carcinogenic component. So the further study done on the correlation between the chloride and also the 3-MCPD, they found there's a strong correlation when the chloride component composition increase inside the crude palm oil, it will eventually increase the 3-MCPD at the end product. So MPOB come up with some firm request to the mill sider and the refinery to provide the lower chloride content for the further usage for the refinery side. So the percentage will be 2 ppm. 2 ppm equal to 0.002% of chloride inside the crude palm oil. It is a very less limited low value of the chloride component, which is need to be removed from, need to be achieved by the miller side. So there is a several mitigation approach proposed by the MPOB. And this chloride usually come from fertilizer, soil, and water. So one of the mitigation at the plant site, they propose to reduce chloride in FFB by changing the fertilizer. So some of the fertilizer which used for the plantation site, they has a chloride composition, which can migrate to the fruit eventually. At the mill site, they request for wash FFB, the fresh fruit bunches, to remove the chloride precursor. Usually the fruits will have a layer of the pesticide. Usually the pesticide has a lot of the chloride composition. So by washing with the chloride-free water, we can remove some of the most of the chloride from the FFB. And second one is they propose to use chloride-free steam for the sterilization process for the FFB. And the final one is the wash fresh CPO with a slightly alkaline water. So since most of the miller has a lesser upper end towards the plantation, because miller work as an independent when come to the plantation. Miller owned by the different company, plantation owned by the different company. And at current situation, most of the miller facing has a lot of the issue on supply chain, where they have a limited supply of the fruits, palm oil fruit. So they have less option to select good fruits against the best food. So in this situation, they found the washing fresh CPO with a slight alkaline water is the best solution to remove the chloride component from the CPO. So on the last 2018 and 2019, my company, Alpha Lava, they conduct some series of experiments, and they found by washing the CPO with the water, they're able to reduce the chloride composition from 7 ppm to 1.25 ppm. It's about 84% of reduction. So it's giving a very promising result on reducing the chloride composition from a fit CPO at the wash CPO. So they come up with a series of the process solution to conduct the washing process at the industry scale. So usually the crude CPO, which is incoming to the heater, will heat up certain degree, then will be mixed together with the water at the mixer. At the mixer will assist to increase the surface area of the oil with the water. So at the oil, which has a lot of the chloride, inorganic chloride, which is hydrophilic, will migrate towards the water side. Then this mixture of water plus oil will be separated at the separator side with a liquid separation process. So the separation process here, it will go something like this. Here we can see that at the bottom section, there's a mixture of the oil together with the water will enter. Then it will go to the center of the separator and will be turned into the high-speed revolution of the bowl. So there's a bowl here. It will be moving very high RPM. It's about 4,000 RPM. And this high RPM will create a centrifugal effect. Will be push the high-density oil to the high density liquid to the most end part of the bowl. So this high density liquid is the water, which is about 1000 kg per meter cube. And the low density liquid is the oil, which is usually about 900 kg per meter cube. So at the end, we can see the mixture of the oil plus water will be separated into a clean oil and then there's a heavy paste which is called as a water. So from here, from the diagram here, we can see that the mixture of the water plus oil will be separated into a two stream. One is the water, and another one is a purified oil which has a less chlorine compound. And this purified oil will further heat it up to a certain degree and goes to the dryer section. The purpose of the dryer to reduce the moisture of the oil into a much lesser, because whenever the oil has a moisture, it will be further hydrolyze the triglyceride into become a free fatty acid. So here we already come up with some solution where we can scale up the washing process to the industry scale, but there is some issue here. So the issue here is we can see from here the CPO will be mixed together with the fresh water. So the requirement is about 12 ton, need about 1 ton of the wash water. So it's about 8%. And when it's entered the separator, here the liquid separation will be segregate the liquid portion and also the clean oil. The clean oil is the stream B, which is about 12 ton, and the liquid, the heavy stream, which is the wash water, is about 1 ton. That means for this system, we will produce about 1 ton of wastewater for each 12 ton of CPO washing. So most of the mill in Malaysia, the size is about 300 to 1,500 tons per day. So this create the potential effluent about 24 to 120 meter cube per day. So it's kind of a heavy volume which need to be treated by the palm miller and also the refinery side. Current effluent treatment for the wastewater. So usually at the most of the plant right now, at the miller side, they adopted two type of a solution. One is a ponding system. The ponding system usually has a big land and has a lot of issue on the methane release. And some of the companies, they do have the methane recovery system, but it's quite expensive too. Another one is a biological treatment. The biological treatment consists of the microbe, which is principle of aerobic and anaerobic digestion process. But this microbe usually is a bit of sensitive towards the temperature and also the pH of the wastewater. So overall, the cost of the effluent for the current system is a bit higher and very difficult to maintain. You know, from earlier, the washing process, it creates the wastewater effluent. This wastewater effluent mainly consists of the water, and there's a small fraction of the oil. This water, usually the boiling point is about 100 degree, and the oil, as you know, the triglyceride, the boiling point is about 300 degree. So we can utilize the boiling temperature to separate the water from the oil. So there's an evaporation process where we can remove, we can distillate the water as a pure component, then further concentrate the wastewater effluents to a lower fraction. Then this concentrate we can further feed up into a liquid separation equipment where it can separate the heavy density water into a heavy paste and the low density oil into a light phase. There will be some fraction of the solid too. It's a kind of a gums which is come together with the oil usually. So my firm, they have come up with some solution where they utilize the evaporation process, backward feed multi-effect evaporator to reduce the wastewater effluent by 85%. Here we can see that the incoming feed is about 30 tons, and it goes to fourth effect evaporator. Then it will discharge to the concentrate solution from fourth effect will go to the third effect. Then third effect go to the second effect, and the second effect, the concentrate will go to the first effect. So the volume reduction of the wastewater effluent here, we can see that from 30 ton, it's become 4.3 ton. This is a concentrate wastewater effluent will go to the pond or further treatment. So it's a major reduction on the wastewater system. So by utilizing the multi-effect evaporator configuration, we can systematically reduce the volume of the wastewater effluent from a palm oil industry. which is generated from the washing pan system. So we need to know what are the units involved on this multi-effect evaporation system. So first system we call POM-Evap. The POM-Evap consists of the PHE, plate heat exchanger, and also flash effect evaporator vessel. Another one we call as a condenser is a PHE also. It has a different configuration where we try to condense the high temperature vapor into a condensate form. So the simulation of the POM-Evap we can see from the video here.
The alpha Laval alpha flash is designed to concentrate challenge. This forced circulation evaporator is ideal for high viscosity, high fouling, and shear thinning. It is also perfect for applications that have a high solids content that must meet the zero liquid discharge requirements. The alpha flash is proven technology used worldwide in various food, water, and energy applications. This plate and frame heat exchanger system is compact, self-cleaning, and easy to maintain. Its highly flexible design makes the Alpha Flash easy to configure to a broad range of operational requirements. A pump transfers diluted fluid into the Alpha Flash, where it blends with a large volume of recirculating fluid. The fluid is heated under pressure, so it does not boil in the evaporator heat exchanger. The entrance neck and distribution area ensure an even flow of fluid over the entire plate. Maintaining a consistent flow and even temperature zones keeps surfaces clean and safeguards product quality. As the fluid moves up the channels, it is heated under pressure. High velocity and high turbulence create a high heat transfer rate and high shear stress on the plate surface. The high shear stress prevents solids from accumulating on the plate, enabling a continuous self-cleaning effect. The heated fluid flows from the heat exchanger towards the flash orifice. This creates back pressure on the fluid and prevents boiling inside the heat exchanger. As the heated fluid passes through the flash orifice, the pressure drops and a portion of the fluid flashes to steam. The two-phase mixture enters the cyclone separator along the smooth tangential inlet. The centrifugal forces improve vapor-liquid separation. A low-density steam rises from the circulating fluid into the space above where mists and fine droplets are removed. The cyclone design reduces the risk of foaming and carryover, resulting in clean condensate. A customized vortex breaker smooths the flow of liquid to the circulation pump. The circulation pump transports the fluid through the Alpha Flash system. The low pressure drop in the heat exchanger and the low height of the system minimize the energy used by the circulation pump. The concentrated fluid is discharged from the evaporator as a final product or further concentrated in additional effects. The Alpha Flash has many advantages, including high turn-down ratio, ability to handle different fluids in the same evaporator, quick response to changes in fluid composition and/or consistency, wide capacity range, cost-effective corrosion-resistant alloys such as stainless steel, Hastelloy, and titanium. Heat exchanger opens easily, enabling quick, easy inspection and cleaning of all surfaces. To increase capacity or to improve flow characteristics, plates can easily be added or removed according to process requirements. Alpha Flash. Compact, self-cleaning, flexible, easy to maintain. Call Alpha Laval today.
So hope it gives some overview on the POM-Evap section. So now we move to the second part of the section, which is the condenser. So let's see how the condenser works. So this is a plate heat exchanger. So usually the top section, you can see there's a red stream, is a vapor, high temperature vapor, will be contact with the cooling water for the condensation process. So this hot vapor will be condensed and recover at the bottom section. And there will be an external cooling system, cooling water through conduct this condensation process. So this is how the configuration of the PHE works for the condenser unit. So basically, by adopting this multi-effect evaporator, we managed to can reduce the palm effluents into two fractions. One is the distillate, which has high clean water. Another one is the recover oil, where we managed to can reduce the volume of the pomade by about 80%. This recover oil, we can further go to the decanter process. So later I will go through the decanter process section for this recover oil. So these are some of the pilot plan which is implemented by Alpha, my company, where they has a very good result. So from here we can see the pomade, which is here, the raw pomade will be goes to the pomade, the multi-effect evaporation and manage to produce about clean condensate and also the high concentrated palm effluents. So the reduction from 500 ml become lesser than 100 ml. It's about more than 80% of reduction. And it produces a more clean process distillate, which can be used for the palm usage, usually for the palm processing usage. So these are some of the layers of the drawing of the pomade effect, this system. So these are multi-effect. There's about here we can see about about 5 effect of a flash vessel together with a company with a PHE. So as I mentioned, this high concentrated oil can further go to the decanter. Decanter is the same type of liquid-liquid separation, which use centrifugation process to separate the low density oil from a high density water. And it also produces some a bit of solid waste, which can be used for boiler waste boiler usage. So usually for the boiler, we can mix together with the hash and fiber for the burning production. And this recover oil we can use back for the milk processing. So it kind of increase the oil losses, reduce the oil losses from the plant, and also further reduce the palm waste effluent from by the 80% of reduction. So this is a summary of the total solution of the pomade. You can see from here.
Palm oil millers are under increased pressure to both increase yield and comply with strict environmental regulations. Additionally, millers use ponding system to manage palm oil mill effluent or pomade before discharging into the river. But ponding alone could not meet low BOD discharge requirements. Alpha Level Pomade Vat combines the big benefits of evaporation and separation. Raw pomade from the sludge pit pumped into the heater via a feed pump. Steam will be used as a heating medium to evaporate the water from the pomade. When the pomade is evaporated until the required concentration, this fraction will be pumped out as solid concentrate. The evaporated vapor then goes through a condenser, with cooling water acting as a condensing medium, and comes out as processed distillate. Millers can now comply with strict regulations and generate byproduct with potential for further oil recovery. And keep the environment free of harmful waste. On top of that, the liquid byproduct from the Alpha Level Pomade Vat system can be further polished and released back to the environment. With the ability to turn pomade into new water, millers can now enjoy sustainable pomade management. Alpha level home evap. Evaporate.
So basically, the multi-effect evaporator use the boiling point as a set point to reduce the volume of the waste effluent, then use the density as a separation process to further reduce the effluent, wastewater effluents, where we recover the oil and also the final concentrated waste effluents. These final wastewater effluents can go to the final pond system or the anaerobic system to further break down into a final discharge point effluent. So today key takeaway point is first, we went through the basic view on supply chain of the palm oil industry from a mill, from a plantation up to the production of the RPD PPO, the final end product of the human consumable market usage. And second one is a current global ongoing demand on food safety, which is a 3 MCPD and some of the cancer consuming component inside the palm oil derived products. And third one is a chloride removal washing plant solution, which is reduce the chloride composition from palm oil by 80%. So the final one is the adopted multi-effect evaporation system to reduce the wastewater effluents by 80%. So these are the 4 key points. I believe you guys have some good idea on all this section. So before we jump to the QA section, I would like to go through some of the upcoming events of the POPSIG. On next December 14, we're going to have a talk from Ms. Husna from KLK Palm Oil. She's going to share women working in palm oil industry and their contribution towards the growth of the palm oil industry on December 14. And then January 17, we're going to have a talk from Dr. Mohammad Sharizan from UMP. He's going to deliver a speech on new extraction technology for crude palm oil. And February 18, we're going to have a talk with Dr. Lee Fei Hun from on catalytic upgrading of palm-based residue to valuable product. On March 15, we're going to have another webinar on industrial automation to industrial autonomy by Dr. Tan Guan Ting from Yokogawa Electric Malaysia. So please register to our IChemE link from here. These are the free webinar which can attended by all of the people here. So we're going to publish our newsletter, issue number 18 on end of December. You can get this newsletter through our IChemE link, POPSIG. And please join our social media. So here we also have a page on the LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, and also Telegram. You can scan the code and can join our great group on the POPSIG side. So that's all from my side. We can jump for the QA session of today. Back to you, Melvin.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thillai. So let's dive right into the Q&A session. So perhaps we can have the mentee slide on the screen. All right, so first question. I'm a huge fan in oil and fats industry. In your opinion, what makes Alpha Laval stand out from other oil and fats industries? Mr.
Okay, there is from my firm, usually they work towards a certain solution. So one of the most important current our direction towards to bring up the food safety of the palm oil industry. So one of the 2 things we are working, one is the removal of the 3-MCPD, another one is the glycerol. So glycerol, another component, there's earlier I mentioned there's a 3 component, one is a glycerol, another one is a 3-MCPD. So we are taking the 2 components and try to bring more safety for the food industry. So these are the current direction of the Alpha Laval. So we are currently working on several pilot plans. Hopefully we can come out with a more economically feasible solution by end of this year. So these are my answer for this one. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thillai. So next question. How different will working in the industries be from the theoretical part done in school? What would you suggest is the best way to pick up a field to specialize in?
Okay, when come to the practicality on your theoretical concept, it's very important. This is the fundamental. I have to say, most of the design, we still go back to the theoretical aspect of the each of the unit operation. So the fundamental is very important, especially the thermodynamic, fluid mechanic, and unit operation subjects all. So once you have the strong grips on these, it'll be more easier for you to persuade on the design of the plant section, like a PHE. So it has come with a lot of the mechanical knowledge and also the thermodynamic knowledge. So you need to have a good grips on the all this section. So what I mean, I try to emphasize is you should have all this fundamental framework of the unit operation on which you learn on the I believe on unit operation and thermodynamic and all the fluid mechanic subjects. It's very important for you to come up with a more economically feasible solution on the when it comes to the industrial actual field.
Okay, next question. Do you think palm oil is the future trend to replace fossil?
Yeah, presently there's a lot of works going on production of the biodiesel. So there's some of the company like I cannot specify the name. They try to use some of the waste palm oil, which is generated from all the food shop. They try to recover the waste oil and they try to regenerate it back for the biodiesel production. So it's most likely it create a closed loop, which we can use back the waste palm oil for the biodiesel production. So this is a current ongoing hot subject, which is most likely will be materialized by most likely next 2 years or 3 years. And the drives now is come from one of the major player of the oil and gas industry people.
Okay. Next question. How does Alpha Lava compete with other similar market players to ensure that the technologies and processes are up to date and relevant in the market?
So one of the most important for the Alpha Lava for my firm or any firm, they need to have the close rapport with the palm oil producer like a KLK, IOI, Wilma. So once you have the close rapport, you know what are the issues they are facing. And once you know the issue, you try to quickly come up with a solution to tackle that particular issues. So it's more towards a bond between the market player and also the engineering solution provider like Alpha Lava and some other group. So, so this is how we try to tackle and we try to come up with the up-to-date solution for the market usage.
Okay, so next question. From your working experience, how often does enhancement have to be implemented in the oil plant, or does the plant always operate with the same technology for many years due to economic constraints?
No, as I mentioned, one of my side, now we are having a 4 type of constraint. One of the constraint is the cost. So the cost of the raw material now increased. So we need to come up a ways to reduce the cost of the operation in the plant side. So without that, the final RPD, the end product on vegetable oil industry will be shoot up. So it's very difficult for all the people for the human consumption because the price is very high. So that's how we need to come up a more economical solution to tackle the utility of operation cost of the plant. So we have to adopt more greener solution and more cost economical unit operation for the industry usage. So this, for example, we try to minimize the steam usage of the plant by come up with a heat pinch analysis. So we try to increase the heat recovery between the cold stream and hot stream. So these are some of the ways we try to tackle and retrofit the existing plant to become a more economical and less cost-consuming operation.
All right, so hope that answers your question. Next. Since nowadays we have plenty of petroleum engineers or chemical engineers welcomed in the oil industry, and what are the things that chemical engineers have to improve to stand out in the oil industry?
I believe the oil industry, they're referring to the fat industry. So even my firm, we recruited a lot of engineers from oil and gas, petroleum engineers. So usually the knowledge of the unit operation most often is similar. If you look at the distillation column, it's based on the temperature of the boiling point of the component. And then the centrifugation process based on the density of the liquids. So as I mentioned earlier, once you have the basic fundamental of the unit operation and also the fluid mechanics, all these fundamental subjects, it'll be more easier for you to enter any type of market, whether it's a fat or palm oil or any type of industry. So there's no any constraint. So once you have the great understanding towards the fundamental of the subject on the chemical engineering side. So mainly you need to focus towards the unit operation, thermodynamic, fluid mechanic, and also yeah, this three is a very crucial one. So from my point of view.
All right, so fundamentals are important.
Yeah.
Next. Would you mind elaborating on the problem on the effluent of the process and why it is significant?
Okay, as I mentioned, once you have the high effluence, then client need to, like an end user, the miller side, they need to handle this big effluence for the treatment process. So before they discharge to the final discharge to the river, they need to meet a certain standard BOD requirement, which is fixed by the government body. So it is quite a huge process for them to target such a effluent final discharge BOD requirement. So once they doesn't have such a effluent treatment system, it will interfere their process also. So they mean they cannot produce the CPO because they cannot handle the effluents. So effluents is very important how they handle. Without the proper effluent system, they cannot produce the CPO. Because once you produce the CPO, they create the same a bit of a 10% of the fraction of the effluent. So these effluents, if they could not what they call treat properly, it will start to accumulate. So there's a certain percentage of accumulation in most of the industry. So once it's reached highest maximum point, they need to stop the production of the CPO. So it's very important. Effluent treatment is one of the crucial to run for the plant smooth operation.
All right, next question. Based on the properties of current pre-treated palm oil, are there any other potential industrial applications? Are there any other potential industrial applications of palm oil besides biodiesel?
Okay, for this part of question, right now the main focus on biodiesel, and there's a lot of the downstream process actually involved. Either they call the oleochemical industry. In the oleochemical industry, we try to recover some of the byproduct from the refinery, which is the FFA. We further bring down to more value for the market. This FFA will be transferred into a animal feed through the solidification process. So there's a different type of industry which handle this type of value adding process for the byproduct of the palm oil. Beside the biodiesel, it's called oleochemical industry. I didn't touch the oleochemical industry here, but there's a segment which they now try to take up the waste from the refinery and try to improve the value and try to fit into the market. So this they call it oleochemical. So there is a field beside the biodiesel where they try to increase the value of the byproduct of the palm oil wastage.
All right, next question. What is the biggest challenge in the palm oil industry currently? Does the pandemic affect the industry/company?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenge right now is food safety. So one of the most ongoing hot topic in the market now. So there is two key component which now market player want to reduce. One is the 3-MCPD, another one is the glycerol. So these are the restriction now is coming from not only from Asia and mainly coming from Euro body. So right now, most of the engineering solution providers, they try to come up with a solution to tackle this biggest challenge in the palm oil industry. And yeah, definitely the pandemic impacted the industry a lot. Mainly now, because most of the miller we know that they are using the foreign manpower to run the production. So now the lack of the manpower, and it is eventually impacted the volume of the palm oil production in the total picture. So I believe now the borders are open, so there's a lesser restriction for the employees to enter to the Malaysia and Indonesia. So it is improving, but there is some impact on the pandemic due to the restriction on the manpower usage at the mill site, at the plantation site and mill site mainly.
All right. I believe there will be a question similar to this one regarding the manpower available, but okay, we'll move on. Why is Malaysia not moving into B20 fully, or is it, from my understanding, currently only in B5 or B10? suppose it's biodiesel.
B20 is the biodiesel, is it? I'm not so familiar with the B2 term, B20 term. What is the B20? Can you elaborate on this part, or?
I suppose the person who posted this question, you may add on to it another question maybe.
Yeah,
now we'll put this on hold. So move on to the next question first. For the fresh graduates who are interested in joining the palm oil industry, what advice would you give them in terms of soft skills or technical knowledge?
So when it comes to the fresh graduate recruitment, so most of the firm now, they're looking for graduate who has a lot of leadership capacity. So you need to handle a lot of a critical situation when it comes to the actual daily based engineering work. So for example, you need to handle a difficult engineering solution, and you need to come up with a solution within a limited time frame. So you need to know how to handle the stress. And beside the technical knowledge, as I mentioned earlier, you should have some strong grip on the basic fundamental of the chemical engineering subject, the fluid mechanics and thermodynamic and unit operation, etc. So these are the quite important one. So soft skill part, you need to have a good negotiation. You should have a good leadership on handle the stress and the situation in the right way. So these are the two important on the soft skill. And knowledge part is you should have some strong grip on the basic fundamental of the chemical engineering knowledge, subjects.
All right, so next question. How is the Industrial Revolution 4.0 in palm oil industry?
Okay, right now palm oil industry is moving more towards what we call a digitalized palm oil control segment. So in the last pandemic, we had a big impact on the manpower availability to run the palm oil industry. So as a part of the action point, which is taken by the most of the industry player, they change most of their control system and the palm oil operation into the digitalized system. So on this upcoming topic on the from POPSIG is from Yokogawa. So they're going to talk more on the how they conduct the digital, adopt the digitalization on the palm oil industry in a larger scale. So yeah, now the palm oil industry moving more towards the automized process control system, basically.
Okay, so next question. I suppose this one isn't so related, but if you're interested, you can answer it, Mr. Thillai. Are we supposed to be able to partake in all these, I guess, competitions during university to be an actual engineering student? As in, can we be an engineer when we graduate without being exposed to competitions?
Competition, it is good to participate in competition, because once you participate in the competition, it increases your collaboration among the different type of people. So when come to the industry, you definitely need to work together with a lot of different people, different mentality, different set of skills. So I believe the competition is one of the ways you try to further integrate yourself into different type of people, and also you can match up with a different type of other side of the competitor from the other different type of university people. You know how you can see evaluate yourself where you are yourself when compared to the next player. So in the interview process, usually you have to compete that particular person to get a good job. So it's best try to involve all the competition, most of the competition, which is I think IChemE have the IChemE cars, such a competition. So you can involve your skills and reputation by participating all this competition in the actual process. Yeah.
Right. So next question. Right. So this was the B20 thing.
So the percentage of the okay, yeah. Now so there's a lot of works ongoing. Even from my firm, we are working on the biodiesel blended conventional fuel. Even if you go to the Thailand, you can you guys can notice a lot of biodiesel mixed fossil fuel in the market. Malaysia is a bit far away from now, and Indonesia moving very aggressively toward this. And yeah, there's a lot of technical solution, engineering solution already come in the market to produce this blending process in a most large scale for the people usage.
All right. Next question. BEM has released an official statement on engineers in Malaysia. So is it true that Malaysia is lacking in engineers in the workforce? I suppose this is a bit unrelated as well, but if you're interested, Mr. Thillai, you can answer.
It's quite hard for me to comment on this part, but right now I believe there's a lot of competition for each of the good position, and for me, this question should be on the HR side. But I'm from my side, what I believe that there's a lot of demand for each of the good position, and there's still a lot of competition among the engineers to grab a good position now. So it is maybe partially true. So that is my answer.
Okay, so I think that's all the questions. Are there any more questions? All right, no more. So I suppose that concludes the Q&A. We're a minute early. So thank you, Mr. Thillai, for your very interesting talk. And I hope that maybe people would be inspired to study harder for their future, especially the fundamentals, as you've said. So maybe we can enter into the photo session. So we welcome everyone to open their cameras. Put on your best smile. All right, we'll wait a couple minutes maybe for everyone to turn on their cameras. All right, I see quite a lot of people. Okay. Yeah, so we have quite a bit of people. What about the others? Maybe you can have more. You know, the more the merrier. All right, yes, yeah, we can start counting down. So committee, get ready. I'm going to count down from 3, 3, 2, 1. All right, can we have it again? Maybe 3, 2, 1. All right, nice. Is that good, committee? Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Melvin. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Mr. Thillai. So that concludes the POPSIG talk. So we'll have a 5-minute, or rather maybe 2-minute break. before entering into the second half. I think there's no sound. There still isn't sound for me. I think you have to choose enable the sound when you share the screen.
There are many people asking, is palm oil sustainable? Well, this topic is very much in debate. I would say most of the stakeholders are putting in their best effort to be sustainable and to meet the challenges of net zero carbon emission. Palm oil is very much known for its highest oil yield per hectare than other oil crops. Its early sustainable journey is very much surrounding with the Roundtable Sustainable Palm Oil RSPO back in 2004. With the endless efforts of research and development, the palm oil yield continues to increase, thus lowering its carbon footprint. Last but not least, palm oil processing is no doubt has achieved a certain level of sustainability. However, such work should continue to achieve its next level for the betterment of our future generation. Thank you.
Together, let's make a difference. Marvin, you're muted.
Oh, sorry for that. So I suppose we can continue. Next, we'll have Wei Han, who will introduce to us our student chapter, what we're about.
Right. Wait for a second. All right. So thank you, Marvin. So I'm Wei Han, the current Vice President of XMUM IChemE chapter. Before we continue to the next talk presented by IChemE Malaysia, which is by Ms. Tharshinye later, let me briefly introduce you about XMUM IChemE chapter, as well as what we have accomplished in the past. So for your information, XMUM IChemE chapter was established since March 2018 with our primary objectives to stimulate and encourage the involvement of CME students in co-curricular activities, which are also related to engineering field. We also assist students in terms of academic or any other difficulties faced during their whole CME life in XMUM. And we did provide opportunity for students to have experience of becoming the committee or even the leader in a particular event. So basically, XMUM IChemE Student Chapter is rather an event organizer. Instead, it can be your channel to explore deeper about chemical engineering insight, which might not be included in your study syllabus. So now let me show you the previous event that we have done in campus during this pandemic. All right, in the first place, POPSIG Roadshow 2019 was one of the biggest events that we have organized previously in our campus, in which it provided an informative insight about IChemE POPSIG, Malaysian Palm Oil Council and POC, and the roles of chemical engineers in palm oil industry. We also got to know the truth behind the sustainability of palm oil, as palm oil has been accused to be the culprit of deforestation. So we were also provided with the information of the potential development of palm oil industry in Malaysia, as Malaysia is the second largest palm oil producer in the world. So in fact, we have roughly 80 students who participated in this event, while 20 of them were actually given the opportunity to volunteer themselves in the Malaysian Palm Oil Council Student Ambassador Program. So next, okay, we also organized our first ever course learning campaign in campus during 2019 with the theme of Pick Up the Keys, in which we aim to enhance students' chemical engineering knowledge and soft skills through motivational and research talks, as well as interactive activities. In this event, various major team building activities and games were carried out to nurture leadership and team working ability of the students, as well as foster bonds among the students of chemical engineering. So besides next. Brenton. Next slide.
Seems there's a slight technical issue, so you can.
All right. So we also got a chance to visit to different kind of industries and plants such as Yakult Malaysia and KL Kepong Olemas, as shown in the slides, as well as the next page.
Okay, again, it appears to be a connection issue, so
okay.
Everyone, do bear with us for a moment here.
Right, then we can hold on for a second. All right, okay. So as well as we also went to the Berries chocolate and confectionery, as well as Gardenia bakeries during the past. All right, indeed, this could definitely facilitate students' theoretical knowledge and further enhance the students' awareness as a chemical engineer before entering the working environment. So furthermore, the next page.
All right, maybe Weihan, you have anything you can elaborate on about these trips? Like, how was it like? Or...
Okay. Okay, all right. It's okay, so I can just moving on. Okay, all right. So we did coordinate. This is the webinars and talks. Yeah, during the past we also coordinate several webinars and talks, including the online motivational talk during last year, as well as the latest one, which is talk by our lecturers who are Dr. Chukit Wain and Dr. Andrew Angelap on their research topics. So during this pandemic, we also plan and carry out a few competitions, which will be shown in next page. All right. So the Kahoot quiz, CME, Wiz, and 1AB, and IChemE slogan competition for our CME students, as well as infographic competition, which during that time we were open up to national level. Yeah. So with that, next page. Okay, so okay, all right. So with that all in one, our XMUM IChemE Student Chapter actually won the IChemE Malaysia Awards during 2020, which is last year, due to our capability in organizing the series of activities which had successfully urged and fostered CME students in transferring the knowledge and fundamental skills into real-life application. So next page. Yeah, actually you can see Dr. Chiu also awarded by the IChemE Awards during last year. Okay, so this will be the committee board for the session 2021/2022, with also our student chapter academic advisor, Dr. Kwa Yin Leng and Dr. Yi Kian Fei. So for your information, the registration session for today will contain two sections. One is for the IChemE student registration, which will be guided by Ms. Tharshinye later, and another one will be the registration for our IChemE student chapter, which we will provide you the payment details later, and the fees will be just only 5 Ringgit Malaysia. So before I end, I would like to share about a system. On the next page, which is the buddy system, just recently proposed by our XMUM Student Council. We actually pretty encourage students to register yourself and participate in this system. First, before we IChemE Student Chapter officially launch this system in the next year. So do consider it and try to register yourself now. Yeah. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be passed back to Marvin. Thank you.
All right. Wei-Han, do you want to elaborate more on the buddy system?
Actually, it's a system for students, which for a group of students, probably 2 persons only in a group. Then it will contain a senior and a junior. Then anything that junior face problem, that junior can just directly contact the particular senior that under his group. Yeah, this is the initial idea that is proposed by our student council. So I think that is quite helpful during this, during this pandemic, actually. Then I think most of us would prefer that when we face something difficulty and then they got a senior that can help us. Yeah. So do consider it when it is just launched during this time or next year. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is a brief introduction about the system.
Okay, thank you, Wei-Han. So now we'll proceed with the IChemE introduction. So Ms. Tharshinye, I'll pass it on to you.
Okay, hi Melvin, thank you for the introduction. Let me just share my slides.
All right, I can see it.
One second. Okay, sorry, just have to go on presenter mode. All right, so you can see clearly, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the introduction earlier. I'm overwhelmed with all that you guys are doing, especially on a Saturday afternoon, to spend your valuable time, your precious time on Saturday afternoon. Congratulations to you, Melvin, and of course the entire team working at the background, which we don't get to see in the front most of the time. And thank you, participants, for your attendance today, and to all other speakers that have, those who have delivered your papers earlier. I must say that I'm humble and grateful to share the same platform as all of you. So without further delay, let's begin, yeah? Okay, so this is an overview about what my talk is about for today. So if you can see, it's a generic slides from the previous years. We used to have presenting to any university on-campus presentation. So a touch base on what I'm going to talk about, certainly about what IChemE is all about, and membership, yeah, and how these resources will help in your studies, and of course IChemE membership, how does it help in your career, and last but not least, how do you join? Okay. Okay, as you may already know, IChemE is a non-profit organization, is a member-led professional organization and a vibrant learned society for chemical, biochemical, and process engineers. Yeah, so this is something that we have been championing over the years. So, you know, apart from that, we also provide other professional qualification, right? Like chartered scientists, chartered environmentalists, and so on and so forth. So we are also, we aim to the organization of choice of chemical engineers by supporting members with networking via member groups and special interest group. So, which I will take you through as we move along my slides. And if you have questions, please post your questions here. We'll pick up your questions, and Melvin, you can address that, and we can just have this session a little bit more interactive rather than being very monotonous. Okay. So as you can see, you know, we provide networking opportunities. That's through the member group and SIGs, and then create sharing and knowledge, expertise of our members, and so on and so forth. Qualifications is certainly the forte of the establishment of the institution, and the accreditation. Okay, so let's zoom into accreditation and see what accreditation is all about. Okay, so they are basically individual courses that are assessed on request from university, not just locally but globally. Okay, this is actually to ensure that your courses are relevant for future career. Okay, so basically the IChemE and the respective university will join hands to discuss and develop and monitor your course content. Okay, so who will be doing this? An independent assessors from academia and industry. So you have blend of both the world sitting hand in hand to review the course content. Yeah. The next pointer would be an accredited course helps provide graduates with a pathway towards chartered status. Okay, this is very important. The reason why I'm emphasizing on accreditation is because for you to make sure, if you are looking at becoming chartered with IChemE, then it is necessary for you to go and check if your course is accredited. And how do you do that? You can log on to Engineering Council webpage or website as displayed on the screen. So that helps you guide. Yeah, so that serves as a guide on how you go or move forward from here. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you questions. This group is very quiet. Yeah. Do you know, I know all of you are chemical engineering students, right? Certainly you are, otherwise you are not in this window. So I am posting a question of, do you know how many universities, both public and private, are offering chemical engineering in Malaysia? Nope. Okay. Okay, in the meantime, we'll go to the next slides, okay? So other facts about IChemE is, you know, we are providing a support to over 30,000 members in more than 100 countries. How we do that? We have offices located in the UK, Rugby, Australia, yeah, and New Zealand and Kuala Lumpur. So these are the offices that's appointed as a branch that sits within the remit of the institution to support the member activities across IChemE, wherever they are located. Yeah. So as I've mentioned earlier, the only body that will be that is able to award the Chartered Chemical Engineer status is IChemE, yeah, none other than IChemE, right? So we also provide license to award professional registrations apart from Chartered Chemical Engineering status, which is the Chartered Environmentalist and Chartered Scientist, which is available in the public domain. So you can actually take your time, browse IChemE website when you find the time, yeah? Oscar says 26.
Am I correct? Am I correct?
Close to it. You are close. You are close to the number. Liu Yu Yuan, is it? Okay, sorry if I don't get your name right. You said 20 or 22. Okay.
Yeah, so is that a correct number?
Good guess. Okay, let me divulge. Yeah, it's 25 altogether. So,
Oh.
Oscar, you were just one number up. So that's where we are at. So we have 25 both public and private universities that's offering chemical engineering, yeah, in Malaysia. All right. Okay. So apart from that, being a member, you also get preferential rates in our training courses, conferences, and events. You know, IChemE's training courses is niche. It's a little bit expensive, so you get to enjoy that benefit. But apart from that, you know, the K-Novel is around the is available online for you, you know, for you to access for your academic purposes. Journals are available, books are available, that's for sale. And the Chemical Engineer magazine, this is now available, okay? Do you have any questions so far?
So if we are a member, then we get all these for free or preferential rates. The books, journals, magazines, conferences, and all that.
Yes, you get to enjoy the preferential rates, especially with regards to the training courses, conferences, you know, events, regardless of wherever you are in the world, you know.
Right. And all these can be we can take a look at them on the website.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, you know, you are able to access the journals through the K-Nobel. That's the e-library. The Chemical Engineer magazine, usually in the previous years, we used to hand out, you know, physically and all that, you know, we used to post it out. But these are all available on the IChemE website. So you could also make reference to the previous ones. So they are all archived in there. Okay. Okay, let's look at how your membership gives you benefits and resources. Okay, like I said, so there's available learning platforms through webinars, yeah. So in Malaysia, most of the time, we have this special interest group running numerous activities, especially, you know, now with the pandemic and all that, they are all online most of the time. And we have 9 interest group in Malaysia that's actively running concurrently. So please make good use of that. The e-books, like I said, you know, they are all available online. Journals are all for free. That will help you with your, you know, your course and meeting people, networking basically. So that helps you envisage the industry better and to get contact, yeah, in terms of mentors. And if you are looking at becoming chartered, then that's something that you would need to, you know, network so that you understand the industry. You get to meet people at the helm of their respective organization, various industries, and the expectation of the employers themselves. Yeah, so that will actually pave path to your career. All right. Okay, so you can see the available resources for your studies, and they are all available online. Okay. So one of the most useful guides that would help you at your penultimate stage would be the Job Hunter Survival Kit that gives you a component of how you go about attending an interviews. Okay, so the key elements are there for you, that serves as a guide for all of you. So if you are in the 3rd and 4th year, so please make the most of your resources, because all you have to do is you only pay one-off, and then for your membership and for your duration course for a period of what, 3 to 4 years. So that's all you need to pay. And I think it's a cost of buying Starbucks. Yeah. So I think all of us can afford Starbucks, isn't it? So that's that. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. Global networking, like I said, why is it important? Yeah, because if you're looking at becoming chartered, if you're looking at, you know, being employed at some point, you know, you must have an understanding, or to have a better understanding of the industry per se, not just oil and gas. And I think in the previous years, students have this in mind. Okay, the minute you are a chemical engineer, then you are looking at oil and gas industry. So I think we are more. I think the chemical engineers are more than that. Yeah, you're not. You don't only belong to that one industry, but you have various industries, because we are people of, who have right thinking process. So processes are involved in various industry, not just oil and gas. So the global networking we have is essential, because it allows you to network all over the world. Okay, so for instance, even if you move back to home after studying, or move abroad for work, there may be a member group near you. So please make sure that you go into your portal and update your details, so that you get to receive the information that you need or you require. So please update your your portal. My portal, is it? Sorry, I'm not quite sure what is it. But if you are a member, then please go and update it. Please make sure that's the email address that's active, and the country that you reside. All right. So okay. So we have 36 regional member groups worldwide offering member-led activities, including networking, career support, site visits, social events. Yeah. Okay. Special interest group is something that Malaysia has always been championing, right? So, like I said earlier, we have 9 interest group that's actively, running live webinars and other activities that you can join in for free. So they are mostly the famous one is the palm oil industry, oil processing special interest group, and the oil and gas. So you can remember the pop song. Okay. So, and the others are clean energy, and then sustainability. We have safety and loss prevention. We have what do you call that? Food and drink, so on and so forth. So please, once again, I would like to reiterate, just make good use of the resources and reap the benefit of it. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far before we get into job hunting and support?
Ms. Tharshinye, I think we have a couple questions in the chat box.
Okay. Isn't chartered statuses awarded by the respective engineering bodies in different countries? Yes, you are right. Okay, for instance, in Malaysia, we have the Board of Engineers Malaysia, we have the IEM, right? The Institution of Engineers Malaysia. So the benefit of you joining this international organization is for you to reap the benefit of international recognition, right? And also peer recognition. That is one thing, because what makes you different from others, and why would an employer would hire you? So what is unique about a candidate? That is one thing, yeah? Apart from that, I think it's also mutual recognition with the local respective engineering bodies. So like, for instance, if you are a chartered member of IChemE, then you get to apply for professional registration with BEM under the root B, they call it, for an exemption of layers of process. Yeah. So that allows you to speed up the process in order for you to achieve the professional registration with the BEM. So that is an added value or available value per se, that we don't really put on record or on paper, but this is something that we discreetly tell our members. So this is the benefit, that you become an IChemE, you become a chartered member of IChemE, then you are entitled for an exemption for professional registration application within with BAM. So it's a mutual recognition between IChemE and the local engineering body in Malaysia. Did I answer you, Lee Ming Rong?
You mentioned that so basically by achieving chartered membership in the IChemE, it's equivalent to registering officially with the BEM, right? Is that what you meant?
No, that's not what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is,
sorry.
What I'm saying is, you know the professional registration in Malaysia is really hard. It's tough. Okay, yes. It's challenging. So what I'm saying is, but I'm also not saying that you can compromise by IChemE will lower their standards. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying IChemE standards are low, but what I'm saying is the exams with BEM is tougher. It's hard. Okay, but if you are a chartered member of IChemE, then you will get exemption when you are considering an application, a professional registration application with BEM. All right. So say, for instance, if you're an engineer, then you want to become, say you have got your master's or whatever, then you want to become a professional registration within Malaysia. So you have, say, 3 levels of processes that you have to go through in order for you to attain your professional registration, right? So now, if you are a chartered member of IChemE, then you get to exempt first layer of process of becoming the professional engineer.
Right, so it just catalyzes the entire process.
Exactly.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay, let's look at the next question. Are the available journals limited to journal posted under IChemE, or we can access different kinds of journal from there? Okay, so it's basically a library, yeah? So library that supposed to keep all sorts of it's basically a case application, isn't it? So you are able to have access to different kinds of journal, but they must be centered around chemical engineering. So if you are looking at something to do with, say for instance, something to do with medical, then I don't think you will get it there until and unless that's something centered around processes and safety, and anything centered around chemical engineering for the matter. Did I answer your question, Silvanir?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next question is, how do we grow our global networking to be a chartered member? Okay, that looks a very strategic question, sir. So I think you should join us, help us campaigning also, can? All right, if you ask me how do we grow our global networking to be a chartered member, one of which is, I think we have to emphasize the values, yeah, the value proposition that representing applicant from different region. I think that's the only thing that we can look at to, you know, outlines the benefits of one becoming a chartered. Did I answer you that, or?
So how do we actually be like a chartered member?
I'll take you through the processes shortly.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, now I've got a question for you. Okay, since we have Xiamen University is a chapter under IChemE. Do you know IChemE is celebrating its 100 years? And do you know when that is? Yes, Yuan. Which year? Can you be a bit more? Okay, no, IChemE is celebrating sanitary, yeah? IChemE 100, because we are celebrating our 100th year birthday. Do you know which year is that?
I know the answer, but I cannot tell.
You are excluded. Yay! You got that right, Li Ming. Congratulations. Okay, my next slide, job hunting and placement. So this is the same thing, I'm reiterating the same thing, yeah, the job hunting and placement. So these are the available platforms that you can actually do a search. The Chemical Engineer magazine, they are online, member groups, you know, that's why, you know, it's very important that you join the member groups so that you are able to network and find the right people and understand the industry. So apart from that, social media, you know, IChemE has its own social media like LinkedIn and Twitter and others, okay? An accredited company training scheme, okay? So we are also accredited company graduate scheme, which I will explain later in my next slide. Job Hunter Survival Kit, like I said, you know, it will serve a good use to students who are at your final year. So that's where we are at. And let's get into the next slide. Okay, so IChemE Act companies. Just like we talked about university accreditation, yeah, IChemE also accredit companies. So we get invited to assess the first 4 years of graduate training to ensure it's relevant and guiding you towards chartered status. So for instance, in Malaysia, Petronas is an accredited training scheme company with IChemE. Yeah, so the screen displays a global range of different sectors. That's close to 80 companies that's being accredited with IChemE. Yeah, so if you happen to join these companies, then this company will pave path to work towards chartered status. So consider yourself with Petronas in Malaysia. All right. Any questions? Okay, no question. All right, career support. Yeah, like I said earlier, you need if you're looking at becoming chartered, then it's very important for you to, have a mentor, that is simply because you need someone to guide you through the process to become chartered. Okay, so how do you find your mentors? Through your member group activities, through special interest group activities, yeah. And it's very important that you start networking now. Yeah, it's now that you do it, so that you are well versed, you know the industry, you know the people, you know what benefits you reap out of in looking at becoming a chartered member. All right. So the next pointer would be the career path. Okay, this is a very important tool, and I think we are not putting good use to this tool at the moment. I think it's very important that we start now by recording work experience and relevant training as you go. Okay, this is actually a CPD recording tool, yeah. And CPD is anything you complete that is not part of your university course, right? So, for example, it can be listening to webinars, attending member group events, anything per se, yeah. So all this will actually add value when you put in your application to become a chartered member. All right. So I am just making this emphasis because I see not much usage is put towards this what I would say benefit that IChemE is providing, So please make good use of all the resources that you have. Yeah. And apart from that, like I mentioned earlier in my previous slides, we also provide other registrations, as you can see, incorporated engineer, chartered engineer, that is for the metal, yeah, that's the D thing, professional process safety engineer, and chartered environmentalist, so on and so forth. And these are all available on IChemE website. So when you find the time, please browse the website, look at it, yeah, to better understand what are the other professional registrations that we provide. And we are the only body licensed to award chartered chemical engineer and process safety engineer, yeah? None other than IChemE. All right. Any questions so far? No questions, huh? Okay. So I think we have, now that we have known, right? We have 25 public and private universities that are offering chemical engineers, chemical engineer course, right? Do you know how many out of which is IChemE student chapters? Okay, now that's for you to think. I am expecting the student chapters to answer this, especially the lead. Five only. You are underrating us. Nope. Nope. Liming said 5. That's incorrect. Oscar says 20. We hope to reach there at some point next year. Yeah, we're supposed to reach at least 20, but not there yet. Weihan, correct. It's somewhere between 15 to 20. Oscar, you're right. 18.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. So guys, we have 18 student chapters, yeah? Okay, someone is just guessing blankly here, 1 to 25. Okay. Okay, guys, so this is the this is actually what Sylvanet wanted to know, how do you become a chartered? So at a prelim stage, you have to become an IChemE member first, okay? Regardless of you're a student or even if you're at working stage, so you have to become a member of IChemE first, right? So if you're not, then please consider joining us. So you can see if you're a student member, then it's a one-off payment of your membership for duration of your course period of 4 years, after which you get to escalate to become affiliate for a period of 1 year for free. Yeah, so it's 4 plus 1, which sums up to a total of 5 years. So you only have to pay once, yeah, and then, like I said, how do you become a chartered? It takes, okay, this is my personal point, personal view, but it doesn't set limitation to that. It takes on an average of 4 to 6 years relevant postgraduate experience in order for you to apply for chartered, yeah. So that actually gives you a knowledge on, to better understand the necessary knowledge that you have to, you should require, yeah. So for me, I would say an average period of 4 years to 4 to 6 years, but it all depends on how fast you move or climb the ladder of the commercial bid. So that's entirely up to each individual member, yeah. So I hope I've conveyed this information. If you need any further information, then just drop us a note. We'll get back to you in tick, okay? Now, the next slide is a significant slide, how to join. Okay, the online form is easy. It's actually an quick and easy way for you to join us through this online form. It's a one-off payment, like I said. So you get a free upgrade to affiliate member for another period of 12 months. How do you join us? You can click on that link, and that will reroute you to that page, and then after which, upon completion, you can see, one is personal details, so you'll have to fill out all those information in there, and then the course details, right? After which is the additional information, if there is any. Then the fourth stage is the billing stage. Please make payment, yeah? So it's not going to cost you anything more than 120. So if you even divide it by 5 years, guys, you're only going to pay 25 bucks, okay? So it's a one-off payment. So as soon as you join IChemE, as soon as you join us, so it's a one-off payment for a period of 4 plus 1. So please do consider joining us. If you are not, yeah. So it's a Q&A time. Any specific questions? Any questions that you need further clarification? Okay, there is a question from. Why don't you all talk? Very quiet lah. I'm getting very scared, you know.
Maybe they're shy. So I will just ask the answer here, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So just now you mentioned about we will get the 5 years for our the membership.
Okay, so if you are a student, you have to apply. Okay, let me go back to the slide here. If you are a student, you have to apply through this, this orange color tab in here. Okay, so you become a student member first, yeah. So say your course duration is for a period of 4 years. So you only pay one payment, say 120. Sorry, it's in GB pounds now, yeah. So it's 22 pounds, I suppose. So that's okay. My colleague just confirmed yes. Thanks, Tharshinye. So it's 22 pounds. So if you convert that, I think it would be about what, 120 to 25, I think, ringgit, for a period of 4 years. So for instance, if your course duration is 4 years, then you only pay that one-off payment of 120 for a period of 4 years, after which you will then be escalated to become an affiliate member for a period of 1 year for free. Did I answer you that? Is it clear?
I think so. So the 1 year will be for free, and then after all, we will need to continue to pay for it.
Yes.
Okay, so after that, we consider as what affiliate member, is it?
Yes. After that, you will be still considered as an affiliate member, but a paid member instead.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
I got it now. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know that students are paying so cheap, like just 22 British pound. Like we are now paying 200 pound per year, which is 10 times greater. I should mute myself.
No, you are not telling to your colleagues in the UK, okay? That's.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from Oscar himself, okay? They are paying 200 pounds, you know.
Yeah, per year. And for students, it's one of for 4 years, is it?
Exactly. You see, everybody's showing that smiley. Correct. So, guys, I don't see why you cannot pay 22 pounds, okay? That's only 120 bucks. Thanks, Oscar. That was a...
The marketing strategy is good.
Indirect marketing strategy. Thank you so much for attending the session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, Savani.
To become a chapter member, I see that we have to do some kind of registrations, right?
Yeah.
So how do we register ourselves? Like, how do we access the registration? And when can we do that?
Okay, so you can actually do your registration right after your graduation. Okay, like I said, if you must gain some amount of experience, but I'm not setting restrictions here straight away. But what I'm saying is, because you need a decent period of time for you to record your CPD activities. Like I mentioned earlier, CPD activities can be anything for the matter apart from your university course, yeah? Like attending the interest group webinars, attending any other courses that centered around IChemE, you know, and events that's run by IChemE and so on and so forth. So you have to have a decent number of years attending all these activities, including your work experience as well, right? So that gives you an adequate amount of knowledge, because it's all about application, right? So the chartered application, it can be a bit, it's all about best practices. It's about it's about knowledge application. So in order for you to tackle that, you must have some experiences, yeah, industry experiences, right? So right after graduate, it's entirely up to the individual. If you think you can, take that for a challenge and you want to do it straight away, it's entirely up to you. All right? So there's no hard and fast rule that you have to do, okay, within this year, or you have to do within the period of okay, right after graduation or not. No, it's not that.
So after we registered, will they assess us based on our experience, our CPD, or are we going to be tested again? Is there any
yes,
test?
You will be certainly tested. There are layers of process that you have to go through. The IChemE is actually underwent a process. Yeah, we actually underwent changes to the processes and procedures. Well, I would say it's a rapid changes to the processes now. They are known as ICP. This is individual case procedure, whereby you have to comply to stage 1, stage 2, thereafter stage 3 is the professional review. So you have to make sure that you within the parameters. So what is stage 1 is actually to make sure whether you are within the parameters of the education parameters of Engineering Council. So, and you have to make sure that your degree is actually accredited.
So is it like a long-term process assessment, or is it like 2-3 days?
No, 2-3 days is a bit too short of a period. No,
so it's like 1, 2, 3 months, or maybe a year.
It depending on how complex it is. Yeah. It really depends on how complex it is. It is depending on how technical it is, and it also depends on the assessors.
What is the common one?
Okay, in the previous years, it could go up to any time between 6 months to a year.
So in this period, we shouldn't be working?
No. Not necessarily. Most of our members who have put in an application for chartered, they are all working people.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you need to work with experience, then you can apply for charter.
I see. And then just now you mentioned about attending a webinar. But usually sometimes we attend a webinar, but there is no certificate or anything that signifies that we attend. So is that, can we use that as in the list of our CPD activities?
Yes, you do.
But we don't have any proof, though.
Yeah, we don't issue. I don't think it's a practice that we issue a certificate. to participants or attendees at large, but you can record this down, like, you know, what are the activity, who are the speakers, from what time to what time. I think these are the details that you need to put in record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No more question from me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
I think I just want to add on to Tharshinye. What she said is that about the webinar. So the webinar archives are all exclusively for IChemE members. So you need to have a register to your IChemE members, log into your accounts, and then you can view the webinar archive. You know, people not always can attend all the webinars all the time because they are all at different times. So in order for you to look back to all these recordings, that you need to be an IChemE members. And yeah. So you can replay all the time, and you can view the slides and download the slides as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Any more questions, guys?
Yeah, hi Miss. I have one question. Yeah, but maybe you can answer the one in the chat first.
Yes, can I just pick the one on the chat because it came first?
Yeah, sure.
So what activities or advantages does IChemE offer to students like us? Okay, you tell me why you should join IChemE. After all this presentation, I think I've given you, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes presentation, or what, 20 minutes, I think. Okay, you tell me, if I'm asking you to join IChemE, why would you join us? And I'll tell you what we offer to students like you. Oh my God. You don't see anything that you need, why you need to join IChemE, is it? Okay. Okay, guys, like I said, okay, there are e-library that's available, okay? If you're a member, you are able to access, you can easily have access to the e-library. So, you know, they are useful for your course. So there are other reading materials, there are e-books available, you know, for you to, you know, advance your knowledge. That's number 2. Number 3 is we run a lot of training courses, right? They are all CPD events, okay? And the courses are not cheaper. They are expensive courses, you know. So if you're a member, you get discounted rate. Yeah, is what I meant earlier. If you're not clear with what I'm saying, you get a discount. Yeah, and early bird promotion is like 25%. So please look into our website. Okay, the live training courses are online next month. So please look out for the early bird promo 25% discount. That's one thing, and not just the training courses, but you also get to get a discounted rate or preferential rate for all our training events per se across the board. Okay, apart from that, like what Oscar was mentioning earlier, you know, you get to access all webinars. Yeah, that means all interest group webinars for free. Okay, and even if you don't get to attend the webinar at the material time, they're all archived. You can actually go and look at it at your convenience, regardless of wherever you are in the world. All right, and we provide networking opportunity through member groups activity, through interest group activity. Now we have formed the Early Careers Committee, which is now that is actually a bridging the gap between the student and the, you know, the senior folks per se. So if you're thinking, okay, after my graduation, what do I do? Where do I fit myself in? Because these people are too senior for me to join that crowd. If you think that, then the early careers committee will best fit for you to join them, right? So these are the benefits that you can reap out of your membership. Does it help?
I think yes. I think the organizing committee should answer this question because they invite you to give a talk about IChemE, so they should know about what is the benefits of IChemE.
No, and apart from that, yeah, thanks, Oscar. Apart from that, I think the student chapter leads are aware. I don't know whether you are conveying this message to your chapters, but given that all of you are here, I think it is also my responsibility to just share this with all of you, that IChemE is providing a fund, a finite fund to all chapters, including our interest group. I think Oscar is aware, to plan your activities and how to go about access the monies. Okay, so I believe the KL office has circulated the budget pack in the last 2 months ago, or some of you, I think those who have missed the boat the last time, we have had one this month, early this month. So my colleague Tharshinye has confirmed that. So so these are the funds are given to all student chapters. We have 18 student chapters, guys. So we are giving all of you money, to run activities. To plan activities that centered around chemical engineering, to enhance the profile of chemical engineering, and to keep the flag of IChemE high through this medium on how we can go about offering our services to you, or providing value to all of you as a student member. I hope that helps. Any questions, guys? Okay, since all of you have got no questions, yeah, Yuan, you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, I have one actually. Just now you mentioned that IChemE has several special interest groups. So I would like to know that, are the groups fixed, or there will be new groups coming up in the future, or what?
Well, they are not fixed. We can expand that if we have people who are, who express interest to, share knowledge in other areas apart from what we already have. So there are chances the list can expand. Yeah. So one of which is Oscar sitting in is the palm oil processing interest group. Okay, so this is a homegrown interest group. Only Malaysia is championing that. None other interest group apart from Malaysia is championing the palm oil interest group. So and they have been doing activities, remarkable activities, I would say, and far way too many activities, so much so, we have no hands to pick their webinars at times, but I'm glad and proud to say that the palm oil processing interest group has always been keeping the IChemE flag high in Malaysia. So apart from that, we have the oil and natural gas interest group, we have clean energy, we have sustainability, we have safety and loss prevention, we have food and drink, we have education, SIG, we have biochemical interest group. Yep. So these are the interest groups that we have in Malaysia.
I think for the special interest group outside of the UK. They are one POPSIG in Malaysia, and another one is mining of mineral in Australia. But because they are not active, I think they are closing down. So actually, there are a lot of special interest groups that students can join to help them making it active instead of creating a new one, because there are quite a few of them are because not enough talent, etc., and interest. So
Yeah.
they are dropping.
Yes.
Also, that means it's possible for us students to join the group, maybe as a member or even the board in the future.
You can also lead a new interest group, So it's an evergreen market, like I said. It doesn't set limitation to just 9, but there are chances to expand it, provided there's interest from members like you. So you youngsters have to come on board and show your interest, grow, and we are looking at potentials like you people.
So is there any requirement for us to join the group aside from being a member of the IChemE?
I think what you can do is you can actually, if you're a member, I think you can go to your portal and you can just click on the relevant boxes. Yeah, what would you like to do and which interest group that you like to pick on. So if you would like to join the palm oil processing, then all you need to do is go to that relevant interest group and click on them. Just opt in your interest. So
okay, sure.
you will get, so in that manner, you will get all relevant news with regards to that specific interest group to your email or whatever mode of communication that you have given or provided in the portal. So it will actually plank on your table for you to participate.
Okay, sure, understood. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Okay, I've got a
so
question.
by selecting,
yes.
Yeah, so by selecting the groups in your accounts, so you will get a formal email from IChemE about their events, because otherwise, like there's no way for us to do like what we call outbound marketing to reach you. But instead of inbound, that you have to visit the Facebook, etc., that is more passive way of doing things. So by subscribing, I think they can subscribe at least 3 groups, I think. So so you can have multiple choice.
Yeah. Well, the issue is centered around the GDPR. That is why the opt-in. That's why you are required to be specific in what exactly you want to receive. Information that you want to receive. So yeah. So be a bit more specific in what actually you want to be receiving, because the IChemE in the UK, well, not just IChemE, but I think regardless of IChemE, any institution in the UK is just bound by the GDPR. So that's similarly like the local ones we have is the Data Protection Act. So it's a bit rigid in the UK, so it's so even if it's Malaysia or if the office is in Thailand or other part of the region, you are technically, well, theoretically you are bound by it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we will organize some of the events with the previous student chapters, and they have this session like key in your passport number and your phone number, and the staff are asking me, why do you need this number for?
Right.
So
right.
yeah, so they are very strict on this GDPR that you don't need extra information that clearly identifies I think the key message is do not clearly identify a person.
That's right. Thanks, Oscar. I've got one question for all of you. Just one last one, and then before we call it a quits, yeah. Now that we have 25 public and private universities that's offering chemical engineering in Malaysia. Do you know how many percentage of these universities are IChemE accredited universities? Very tough questions, huh?
Is it the same 18?
No. Percentage. 16. Silvanir said 16. That's incorrect. Melvin says 80%. Is Xiamen University IChemE accredited? I don't think so. No, that's incorrect. Ricky says 15. That's incorrect.
20%?
You are right. How do you know
Really?
that?
20%?
Yes. Okay. You actually know the answer, or you just took a wild guess?
No, yeah, I just do a wild guess. I remember something like 20-30%.
20%.
20%? It's like 5 universities?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh. But
So
what does it mean to the accredited universities? Like, would they affect the membership of the students, or how
yeah,
important is it?
it does, because it's very important that the courses are accredited with IChemE, so that the assessors from both the individual and the academia, so you have blend of both worlds to actually assess the course content, to make sure its relevancy, for future career. So in another way, in another way, it also paves path for students, to become chartered with IChemE.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
How about the companies with the IChemE, Act accreditations?
Yes.
How helpful is it for students with the membership?
So it's the same thing, just like what we talked about university accreditation, we also accredit companies, right? So this is actually a 4-year of graduate training to ensure its relevancy, to guide you or pave path to chartered status. So if you are a accredited training scheme company with IChemE, then it's for a period of 4 years, right? So we coach you, we train you, we assess you, right? So in that manner, we provide the adequate amount of training. We also create assessors, so that the assessors is now able to train all their engineers towards chartered status.
I see.
So we only have Petronas at the moment, in Malaysia. So we have to scale up the number, but yeah. Yes, Lai Ming, bye. She has to go, or he has to go, okay.
Yeah, I think maybe we can proceed with the student chapter registration first.
Yep. So I will bring my slides down. Is that okay?
All right. So suppose I can share my screen again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Tharshinye, for the explanation. Very lengthy Q&A session as well.
Thank you.
All right. So here are the details for IChemE registration. I suppose the details will also be posted in the chat box. So, all right, this is IChemE student chapter registration. So not to be confused with the IChemE registration, this IChemE student chapter registration is like for XMUM specifically. It's like and the fee is only 5 ringgit Malaysia per year. So it's very cheap. You can pay by a bank transfer to the following account number or by a touch and go wallet. If you have any questions, you may voice out and or type in the chat box. And if, for those who have registered, could you please PM our treasurers? Yeah. The detailed steps are in the chat box. Just so we know, you know. And yeah. And for those who have registered, you may leave. Okay. And we do apologize for dragging this on for so long, but yeah. So again, for those who have registered for the IChemE as an IChemE member, you may private message our treasurer Ricky, along with your name, the receipt, student ID, and phone number, and yeah, and for the student chapter as well. Ms. Tharshinye, are you interested in a photo session? Because I think you didn't turn on your camera during the POPSIG photo session. If you like, we can have it now. I think you're muted. Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I'm muted and I was away. I was not paying attention. What do I do?
No, it's just if you're interested, we can have a photo session because I think you didn't turn on your camera during the POPSIG talk. So
Hi, Oscar. I've not met you, you know.
Oh, really?
I've not really met you.
Really, not really met you.
all right. So everyone, if you're please turn on your camera so we can have a another photo session with Miss Tharshinye. Although it'll be a bit lonelier this time.
Is there just a few of people opening their camera?
Okay. I guess.
I think
either they are scared of me or they are scared of COVID.
COVID through virtual meeting.
So guys, don't be so shy. Just open your camera and then we have our last photo session.
Actually, this registration fee 5 ringgit is per year or one off? It's way too
per year.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it's one off. Yeah, according to our tradition, I would say.
Well, I think that has got nothing to do with IChemE. IChemE has got no hands on that 5 ringgit.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 5 ringgit is just for our student chapter. Yeah.
Also university students. Okay. I thought that is for the IChemE membership. Sorry.
So IChemE get any royalty or not? No, huh? Okay.
Yeah, no.
You mean to say this many people only online? Oh yeah. Everybody shy.
Yeah, maybe they're shy, I guess. So for other participants who are still in this room, yeah, feel free to open your camera and join us in
Where's
the
Mr.
session.
Thillai? Where's the previous speakers and all that? All ran away already.
Mr. Thillai, I think he left.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I think they are busy on registering both of the membership. Yeah, so
that's the optimistic view. I mean, maybe we can have and you can do it with everyone who's opened the camera.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess I'll count down. So 3, 2, 1, cheese. All right, another one. 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay. Guess that's sufficient.
yes. Thank you to Miss Tharshinye and Oscar. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
Learning, yeah.
Miss, and also thank you to POPSIG. I learned a lot from both talks today, especially IChemE. Yeah,
Thank you
very
for your time.
informative.
You are the precious ones. Thank you, all of you. Looking forward to making more waves through IChemE, yeah? So keep
Yeah,
the
sure.
IChemE flag high and all the best. Thank you, Oscar, for joining in.
No problem. Great to see you as well.
By the way, Oscar is from the UK, so he's participating in here. So, you know.
Yeah, I actually set it
I'm
alarm at
moved.
5:30.
I'm moved by your interest.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll take leave now. See you next time. Bye.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for joining
All
us.
right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye bye.
So for everyone else who are still